Hey y'all, we gonna jump right into this video, and the first thing that I'm going to use is the tea tree infused facial oil. You can find tea tree facial oils at Marshall's or Ross. They is about $5.99 depending on what size you get, and they work very good. I love to use this morning and night and before I do my makeup, just so my skin can be nice and hydrated. And for my primer today, I'm using the matte putty primer, and all I'm doing is adding a light layer, and I'm just going to blend it into my skin. So the next thing I'm going to use is the Too Faced Chocolate Bar Palette. I'm using this to fill in my brows, and I'm taking the color Triple Fudge. If y'all didn't know, I'm not really good at doing my brows, so it takes me a while to really get my brows how I want it, and I'm just putting this all through my brows, and I'm going to brush it out with a spoolie. I'm doing it very messy because I am still going to conceal, and to conceal my brows, I'm taking the LA Girl Pro Conceal in the color Toffee. Now I'm going back into that chocolate bar palette, and I'm going to take the first shade, which is Semi-Sweet, and I'm going to focus that mainly into my crease and my outer corner. The next shade I'm going to be using is Creme Brulee, and I'll focus that mainly on my lid, and I'll put that on there with a fluffy brush. Only because using a fluffy brush when adding a lid cutter gives a more effortless look, so that's what I was going for. And you'll see me going back and forth with the first brush that I use without adding any product. This is just how I blend all my colors together. And the next shade I'm going to be using for the brow bone is White Chocolate. And for the face, the foundation I'm going to be using today is the Drop Foundation by By KISS. And this is in the color Mocha. I'm applying it with a dense ultimate blending brush. And this is from e.l.f. And you'll see me going over my foundation with a microfiber sponge that I just picked up from Walgreens. I really love this sponge. It was like my first time using it. And I really loved it. It blended in the product very good without taking off so much product, if that makes sense. It's not like a beauty blender or the Real Technique sponge. This does not remove product. It just push it in the skin and give you a more smooth and flawless look. Okay, I'm taking two concealers. The first one I'm using is the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer, and this one is in Deep Olive. It's more golden, so I mainly only focus it in the inner tear ducts of my eyes. And I'm also using the Maybelline Age Rewind Concealer, and this is in 144 Caramel. I'm going to be blending it out with my microfiber sponge, but I did let this sit for like a few minutes, or probably like 2 minutes the most, just so it can get tacky and more full coverage. So as I let this sit, I just prepared my setting powder because soon after I blend everything out, I really would like to set my face. So I'm using the Airspun translucent powder, and I just placed a little bit in the lid. This powder is the GOAT of setting powders. It's very affordable, and it's easy to blend in, and it work with every skin tone. So you'll see me pressing it into my skin. I like to press it in first and then bake. So you'll see me doing that in a minute. And just a big tip that I use in all my tutorials is going over the edges that I conceal with my foundation brush. This is just to give the face a more flawless transition, so you won't see where the product started or ended, if that makes sense. Another product I picked up is the Maybelline Fit Me pressed powder, and this is in the color 360 Mocha. I just use this all over to set the rest of my face before I contour. This right here is a very big step. At first I wasn't doing it, but now I can see what a big difference it makes to set your foundation first and then contour. Okay, to contour, I'm taking the True Complexions Black Radiance Medium to Dark palette. The first shade I use is the Sculpting shade, and I place this between the places where I highlight and contour just to give the face a more gradient look. Look how pretty that look. I love it so much. And then I go into my contour shade, and I place that underneath where I just placed the Sculpting shade, and all over where I contour at. And I also use that to contour my nose. Now going back into that chocolate bar palette, I'm going to take the darkest shade out of the palette, which is just a triple fudge. And I'm going to use a very small pencil brush and focus that underneath my lash line. On back into that chocolate bar palette, I'm going to take the shade White Chocolate, and I'm just going to place that in the inner corners of my eyes just to open the eyes a little bit. Dust the powder away, I take my foundation brush. I really don't dust. I press it into my skin, and using the foundation brush over the powder that I set usually gives my face a more blended look. It doesn't give you flashback if you use this technique, so I just put y'all on. To highlight my face, I go back into that True Complexions palette. If y'all didn't know, I really love this highlight shade. I wish they sold it separate because like I really like it. It's a very natural look, but you can see it if you get what I mean. Like it's there, but it's not like too much. So I just lightly place that into the places where I highlight, and the places where I want it more intense, I just go over that more with more highlight shade. Then for blush, I got the same blush, y'all. I've been looking for blush for the past couple of weeks, and I really don't know how to pick out blushes, especially for my skin tone. So if y'all know any good blushes that will match my skin tone very good, then please leave it down in the comment section below. And I just take a big fluffy brush and then place that all over my cheekbones. Taking my foundation brush again to go over my face, and then setting my face with the Primer Set Coconut spray. I think I got this from Marshall's. I'm not sure what the name is, but I'll put it down in the description box below. For lips, I'm taking the LA Girl Pat Lip Gloss, and this is in the color Let's Kiss, and I'm just going over it with some of my clear lip gloss that I got from the beauty supply store. The beauty supply store has the best clear glosses ever. So this is the finished look. I hope that you guys like and enjoy this video, and I hope to see you guys in my next video.